What is up, YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Maybelle Monique. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm glad you decided to drop by. Today we are going to be talking about donating plasma, okay? So we're gonna talk about my first experience donating, my returning, so second experience donating, and we're also gonna cover a few tips that are going to help make your donation go by quicker, help you feel better. I'm not a licensed medical professional, so do your own research, please. But this is gonna be my experience, my personal tips, things that helped me donate better. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first time. All right, so we just pulled up to BioLife, and the reason we chose this location is because it is nationwide and it seemed like a reputable place. The last thing you want is to donate at a shady location. Now, I am wearing a long sleeve shirt, some leggings, some long socks, and some tennis shoes. And the reason for that, even though it is very sunny and very warm outside, is because at the end of your donation, they actually put saline in your body. The saline is to rejuvenate you, replenish any fluids you may have lost throughout the process, and it is room temperature, okay? So it's gonna be chilly because the human body is not at room temperature. So let's do it. I just finished my donation. I'm sitting in the car waiting for my husband to finish. I am bandaged, wrapped up, good to go. So let me tell you what happened. As soon as I walked in, they checked my temperature. With COVID running amok in the United States right now, that is probably pretty common amongst medical facilities, okay? Now, after that, they just had to make sure I was who I was saying I was. And then they also had to check my proof of residency just to make sure I am a resident of Tejas, okay? Now, after that, what they did is I had to do my vitals, which you'll have to do this every single time, and that's to make sure you guys have enough iron and you have enough protein to donate that day. Then they'll take you back and they check to see which side you're going to be pricked on. After that, you come back to the front, you answer a lengthy questionnaire as a first-time donor. After that, it's going to basically be a summarized version of that questionnaire, just to remind you of any risks, side effects, symptoms, all the above. You then will see a physician to get a general health checkup. They just make sure like, hey, you're good to go, you can donate, there's no increased risk of whatever. So that's gonna be the main part of it. We got there a little bit before 1:15. I think I walked in at 1:11, that's when my appointment was. The time right now is 5 o'clock, okay? We spent maybe 2 hours waiting in the front. Now, there were a lot of people there, not past any regulations, I'm sure, but there were a good amount of people donating. And in times like these, it is a really great source of supplemental income. So that would make a lot of sense. We did have to wait until some chairs were available. As soon as they were, they take you back, and the lady or gentleman will ask if you've done this before. My lady was very awesome. I told her I was a new donor, and she explained everything that was going to happen to me, answered all my questions that I had, and made it very comfortable. Now, what they did is they cleaned the area, of course, made sure your veins was good. You have a cusp put on, and this acts as a tourniquet for the process. So they inflate the cuff, insert the needle, connect all the little, tubes. They connect all the tubes, and then you start with your donation. For a period of time, the cusp will remain inflated and it's going to draw blood out. Then the cusp will deflate. And when that happens, the machine that you're connected to is actually separating the plasma from your blood. Now, it'll do that for a period of time, and then it'll go back to the cuff being inflated and it pulling stuff out of you. And it will just do that as many times as it needs to collect the amount of plasma that is required for you. And from what I understand, this is different for every person. It's going to be based on your weight. I don't weigh a ton. I'm literally just over the minimum requirement for weight. So I didn't have to fill up the entire tube, but I did have to fill up probably 3/4 of it. So plasma is something that your body regenerates pretty quickly. You can donate up to 2 times a week. So yeah, that is a general consensus of everything that went down in there. As for how I felt afterwards, this is going to be different for everybody. I have a friend who had a not ideal experience post-donation. For myself, I was fine. I sat there. Since I was a first-time donor, they actually gave me a bottle of water and also a bag of goldfish. So I ate like 3/4 of the bag of goldfish because me and Corey are gonna go get donuts. Yay! Y'all don't know yet, but I love donuts.
I love donuts. Okay.
And I'm pumped. But I did that. Drink a little bit of water. I feel fine. During the whole thing, it can be a little lengthy just depending on hydration and all that stuff. I was watching Wreck-It Ralph on Netflix, so bring some headphones. You don't want to be that person that doesn't have their headphones and is watching something. But other than that, yeah, like those are the high points of the experience. I personally didn't experience any lows, but again, that is gonna be person to person. So take that with a grain of salt, do some research. But other than that, that's gonna be my like general broad overview. So let's go ahead and talk about the second donation. I actually donated 2 days after my first donation, which is technically okay. You have to make sure there's 24 hours between each donation. Most clinics will only let you donate twice a week though. Plasma is something that regenerates pretty quickly, but of course you don't want to deplete yourself too much, and these are professionals that care about your health and well-being. Whenever I walked in, all they did was check my temperature, and then they directed me to a computer. I scanned my finger just to verify my identification and did a condensed version of that original questionnaire, just reminding me of any risks, side effects, and also it was making sure that since the last time I donated, I hadn't gotten any tattoos or piercings or anything fun like that. Afterwards, they take your vitals. Like I said earlier, this is going to be done every single time. After they take your vitals, they direct you to a section that you're going to be sitting in, and you go sit down, wait for the nurse to hook you up, and you're good to go. Now with my second donation, it had only been 2 days, and I decided to donate with the same arm. My recommendation, alternate arms. So when she first put it in, it was fine, but I realized it was a little sore, I guess, from the first time. And it was great. Donation went well. It went by fast. But whenever she pulled out the needle, it was significantly more sore. And I noticed that it bled more this time. Now, for what reason? I don't know. I'm sure that there is a thing where your veins can get aggravated by being stuck with needles. So I would just suggest if you're going to go more than once a week, be sure to alternate your arms. And even if you are donating on a weekly basis, you could also alternate your arms. I'm going to be donating on a weekly basis. I'm not going to do 2 times a week. Just personally, I think that it was a little bit of overkill. Not that I felt bad. I still felt amazing. I just don't want to put too much stress on my body because there's some big changes going on in my life right now. So we want to keep stress at a minimum, okay? So overall, the second time was significantly faster.
Way faster.
I was out of there in just a little over an hour. So check-in, vitals, pumping, getting checked out. You will definitely save some time there. It also probably helped that I went at 6:45 in the morning, which who wants to go donate something at 6:45 in the morning? But the good thing is you're half asleep anyway, so who knows what's really happening? You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and cover some tips. I do want to remind you guys, I'm not a licensed medical professional, so I want to make sure that you guys are doing your own research. You guys are probably going to get some informational packets or emails from a provider that you are going to choose to donate with that will give you more suggestions. But some main ones for me included, 1, being hydrated. On the way to my first donation, I literally drank water the entire time there, okay? Secondly, you want to make sure that you have a pretty good meal beforehand. Your body is going to get depleted. Yes, they are replenishing fluids with saline. However, they're not replenishing nutrients that are pulled out. So make sure you have a good meal beforehand. Also, I would recommend either taking a multivitamin or green supplement. If you do not already get those vitamins and minerals through your daily meals, okay? The little things are the bottom of the pyramid, right? They're the foundation. So if you don't get in enough fruits and veggies and all the healthy things that are going to give you those nutrients, you just want to make sure that you're taking care of your body at a baseline level, okay? The last tip I have is not to be too nervous, okay? Whenever you're nervous, it can actually affect like your blood pressure and how fast your heart beats and things like that. It can mess up your vitals. You could be totally perfect to donate that day. However, if you're nervous, that could put up a red flag saying that you may not be able to donate. And you can get paid for donating. So if this is something that you could potentially depend on for a little extra boost financially, you just want to make sure you go in there cool, calm, collected, okay? I just don't look at the needle personally, and that helps me out a lot because I have tattoos and stuff. However, I don't like watching a needle go into my skin. And don't say I have tattoos. You know, they're both needles, but it's different, okay?
It's different.
So anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you stopped by. If this video was helpful in any which way, form, or fashion, please hit that thumbs up button. You guys are great. Deuces.